Are you ready to increase your retention and revenue and convert website traffic to clients? Then you're ready for Maya. Maya is a marketing and client recruitment software. Maya creates better business relationships by pairing the right clients with the right beauty professionals. How do we do it? A matchmaker. Your brand will have its own unique matchmaking survey. By pairing people based on their skill set, budget, personality, and lifestyle preferences, Maya creates lasting relationships that keep both sides coming back for more. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Pair the right clients with the right beauty pros the first time. Visit joinmaya.com to get started.
Thank you for joining me. This is Katie Whitledge with a Beyond the Technique podcast. Today we're talking about tipping the scale, both for your personal life and your business. And I have the one and only ultimate female tech founder in our industry here. We have Alicia Soulier back. She's been with me in years prior and just behind the scenes has been crushing her journey as a tech entrepreneur, mentor, innovator. This woman is the fiercest strategist. She thinks future. I've been around her, and her tenacity isn't like anybody else I know. And when they say it's a man's world, not when you're around Alicia. It's not. And she's just so incredible. I can't wait for you to hear from her today. She has just authored her first book. It's called The Scale: How a Simple Idea Kicked Off a Salon Industry Movement and How Innovation Can Ignite Their Own. We're going to have a special opportunity for you to get your hands on this book, but you have to wait till the end to find out what that is. So without further ado, help me welcome back the founder and CEO of SalonScale herself. Welcome back, Alicia Soulier.
Well, thanks, Katie. What an intro. Thank you so much for that. I'm so excited to be here.
If you're ever on stage somewhere and you need somebody to do your intro,
Yes, I
call
know.
me.
I'm gonna call you because that was fantastic.
Oh, girl, like I am truly serious when I say every time I'm around you, there's something that lights up in me and it's like what's possible. And you really open my eyes to bigger things than I would probably allow myself to naturally even think is something I could be capable of, or our businesses. And you're always thinking about the collective. Here's what the industry as a whole could have. Here's what we could do if we just thought this way and made these types of decisions. And I don't know, where did that kind of mindset and strategic thinking come from?
I think that's a good question. I think I've always it comes from really how I was raised. I think like having incredible parents that have always believed in me. I always joke that my mom like thought I could walk on water. Like she probably thought that I could. And as we know, that might not be as possible, but that kind of extreme belief in oneself really is what's needed. And I think that fostered me through, my childhood into seeing the world and the possibilities. And then, of course, entrepreneurship was like a natural path from there because you can, create the world differently and you can see inefficiencies and how to make them better. But really, only truly the way to make them better is through, connection and really seeing the possibilities in others and how to pull them out and be this master of painting a picture, right? You have to be able to visualize and see what that is and then challenge yourself enough to have the confidence to talk to others and then pull out the people that have the strength to be able to make that an actual reality. And so I just think that's kind of really where I live is I just kind of see people and things and how they fit in this picture and how we can kind of connect and solve things and create a better world for everyone.
Well, you have such a passion for the beauty industry, which is where your technology solution, really started in solving a problem you had. I would love for you to go back and just share with everybody your story and how Salon Scale got started.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, definitely. I read it in a little bit more detail in the book, but I think, the big thing was when I started out my own salon, I think, we were crushing it. The first couple of years we were crushing it, but top line was great. Revenue was coming in. We were well over 1.4 million in revenue. But every year at the end of the year, when I do my taxes, pay everything out, the bottom line was just not reflecting that. And the profit just wasn't there. And it made me have to kind of dive deep to see like what is actually going on in this business. What can I control? What can I not control? And when I really honed in on what I could not control, it all centered around the back bar. And what I realized, it was just that. It was just an open bar where people were free pouring hair color like alcohol. And we really didn't have a grasp on, a lot of the things I had in place, like service. I had service charges, I had allotments, I had ways to try and give us a budget or a summed amount per customer. But I realized we were just kind of guessing. Um, and with that, I also realized that not only were my assumptions just based on, let's say $10 or $15 was used for that service, I never factored in replenishment of the product. I never factored in that, yeah, it was used, then it has to be purchased. And so when you just look at the margin itself, whatever is left after you pay 50% commission, when you look at that other side, you realize that you're going to have to replenish the product. And then whatever product that ended up in a service commissionable line, you're paying commission on that product. And then it just gives you like this whole kind of reality hit me. And once we kind of created this first prototype and we were able to kind of see what those costs were, that's when the method was born to the tool. So SalonScale really truly wasn't, it started as a tool, but there was a method that needed to be formed with the tool. And that method of really understanding those parts from the labor gave me finally an ability as a salon owner to have true, transparent conversations of what it costs to run my business. And then I was never, out of money. I was never sitting there every staff meeting trying to do like scraping buckets or trying to educate. It was factual, and the facts cut through the motions. The team never felt like I was taking from them or trying to make more money off them. It made sure that my costs were covered and that the business truly was profitable with no pushback from the team. So that's kind of a little bit of how it started and how we implemented it. And then, we birthed it to the industry. And like, I just knew I was my customer. I faced that feeling. I knew the emotional toll of being a salon owner, and I just didn't want a salon owner to ever feel that way again. So I worked my butt off to kind of just find as many people that could help me tell the story and implement it and see if they had success. And now we're sitting here with 4,000 salons really around the world that use our software, and continuing to grow from there.
Wow, it's incredible. And it's interesting that you went from salon owner to tech founder. And here's what I know about you. To move as quickly as you did to get this tool and software in the hands of as many people as possible, you had to raise money to grow your team around you, to build it all, to do the technology. So people don't know this, maybe they do, but you are incredible at raising funds. At what point in your journey did you know, oh, in order for me to do this, I'm going to go out and have to have other people believe in what I'm doing and give me money? And then you went
Yeah.
and did it. Tell us about that.
So I right away, within year one, we launched SalonScale in both app stores, I think in June of 2018. And by August, I think I had my first round closed. So I had raised around $450,000 in that first round, and closed it very, very quickly. But a lot of it came from the ability to storytell, to talk about what these issues are and really break it down. And I think the art of really fundraising is really thinking about like, why am I raising money? I think like that's the whole thing, is what am I raising it for? And what is the possibility? Like, what would the outcome be for this person? So if I truly believed in what I did at that time, is if I raised 400,000, could I make $1 million business, like annual reoccurring business in the next year? And the answer was yes, I could do that with 400,000. And so what I did is I just kind of projected what I would need, how much money I would need to spend in ads and marketing and the team. What was the cost of all those things? And then what would the targets be that we would need to close to get to that? And so when we took that into consideration, it was around a little over 400,000. So we took that capital in, and that's what we did. We actually did grow the business to 1 million in revenue. And those are kind of the ways that you want to do it. And then looking at what is the return for this? Like, is this a small problem? Is this a lifestyle company? Or this is a venture-backed business? Like, could this be a billion-dollar company one day? And so that really helps you understand who you want to go after or who would be a part of fundraising with you. If the business is really a lifestyle or could become, a multi-franchise, maybe like a 30 to $50 million enterprise, that might be better to go see some private wealth. That's a better kind of play because it's more it's a different strategy. Whereas like if this company can really scale beyond and kind of do that, then you're looking at kind of finding the pathway to venture capitalists and or VCs, and any funds that kind of support that type of growth model or that type of business.
So you scaled your business very quickly because you had faith in what it could do and you backed that in, you quantified it. How did you scale yourself, or what were kind of those learning lessons in the process? Because that's a pretty stressful, you put yourself in a situation where you had to produce results. You had no
Yeah.
choice. Failure wasn't an option, which I love that. I like thrive on that. But like what did that look like for you personally?
A lot. Like, I mean, I'm still learning. I think that's the reality is I think we always look at someone like, how did you scale out? How did you build the leadership team? How did you get out of from in the business? And they're all the reality of it. It takes a very long time until you're actually fully out of the business. It takes a lot of trust. It takes a lot of transparency. It takes a lot of hard conversation. And also it takes a lot of hard reality checks, to see, who you are as a leader and what communication style are you delivering. Um, and so I think one thing I kind of narrow down on is the way you communicate. And especially for me, I can say that a lot of the times when I started, I had a lot of we conversations. So when you do that and you say, we need to do this, if we hit this number, then this happens. When you say we, it doesn't hold accountability. So especially from a female leader, when you are talking to someone and you want them to produce something, a certain person to achieve a goal, we need to hold accountability. And that's really where we get the direction and we get the results. So it's kind of having those conversations of, the business, we as a business want to accomplish this. What are you going to do? What to the why? That's the kind of conversations you want to do. And that's when you know you're entering scale, is when you're having those type of conversations. You're directing those type of conversations versus including yourself in the problem and solution sets. You're letting it come to you versus creating it yourself.
Gosh, is it because and I don't want to pull like, oh, we're women, or is it the salon owner part of this? But why are we timid with that? I think we soften things when we say we, because we're afraid maybe, and I could be wrong about this, of being like too direct and too in your face. If I say, here's our company goal, what do you plan to do to help us achieve XYZ? So when you bring that up, I'm like, oh my gosh, my team knows me well enough to know I want to say that, but I back it up because I don't want to offend anybody. So like, tell me more about that. Because a lot of
That's
owners listening today are like, I don't know if I could ever talk to my team like that. Well, like, how do you refine it? How do you make it where, or do we just need to step into being bold? Because F it, if you're not, you're going to be left with the consequences.
Well, that's exactly it. It's kind of exactly what you just said is like, I think we as women specifically, we like to connect first. We like to understand how you're thinking, what you're doing. Um, so that when we have to set the direction, we really have a foundation of really trust. We really trust because we have confidence in where you're going. And so it's about really connecting. We want to see your buy-in. We want the loyalty. We want the trust. We want you to understand that we do care about you and we care about your success. And so I think we focus a little bit too much on that part. Um, and then therefore we get a little trapped in those kind of conversations where we're waiting to be too invested and too involved versus let them come to you with some type of solution and see what that is first. So one of the tactics I started to kind of develop also was, I'm a talker. So I like to talk and make people really buy into what I'm saying. But that tends to have long stretched out meetings that go really nowhere. And then it's just me talking. So one of the things I started to do was I started to document before I delegated. So
Mhm.
talk to yourself first. This is a good strategy, is to talk to yourself as an employee first, and then write that down, and then delegate that. If you go straight on the talking out first part, you're just going to be trying to hear yourself first, and you're not going to get the impact that you probably want.
Okay. Did somebody teach you, was there like a something like, you don't have to share what the thing was. Was it is like you kind of learned this the hard way and so you figured it out, or did somebody like teach you how to make these refining, really pivotal changes in your leadership style?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. So this last year, really, I've taken a big reflection journey. I've gone through therapy as well as some mental or some mindset coach training. And what that does is it puts the massive arrow on yourself, and it really shows you like, how are you breaking down things? What can you do differently to open up, instead of analyzing and seeing others and how you can grow others? It's how do I grow myself? Because truly we know this, if I'm not okay, then no one else is okay. The other part too, what I understood was SalonScale is SalonScale and Alicia is Alicia. And when you wrap your identity so much into your business, that business will drive you. So you eventually end up working for your business, then the business being, growing because of who you are, because of the wholeness of who you are. So through the year of me kind of going through that, I started to kind of see some of those things I was doing. And then I applied some of these strategies through those learnings. And now they've become just kind of, my tools to kind of really, really evolve and become who I am today.
That's really cool. And then you were like, I'm going to write a book about all this.
Yeah,
So
I actually
what made you
had
want to write
no
a book? Yeah.
I had no like I never thought I'd be an author. I never thought I'd write a book, but again, last year was really, really difficult. And what happened was, um, I actually my very first mentor, my very first boss passed away. And when that happened, I got like a massive reflection right away of like who I was at 19 when I left him, and I took my risk on starting my own suite, and then very quickly by 24 I had a 10-chair salon. And I realized that I grew a lot of who I was under like pride and showing that I could do it too. It was like, watch me do it too. Right. And so through that reflection, I started with just writing. What I had some poetry, I had been writing some blogs, and very quickly I realized I had like actually a writer. I had a ghostwriter with me to help me, so that it wasn't just a massive run on a statement or sentences. So Emily, as we wrote through it, she was like, "This is a book, Alicia. Like, we need to talk about your book." And so I said, "Okay." And we started writing the book about a year ago. I met with her like maybe once, sometimes twice a month. And through the hardest times, like when things were like falling around me, she's like, let's get on a call. And we wanted to get that in there to show that this isn't like a book of success. This isn't like here's all these things. Like, this is a book of showing through the emotion and the feelings as you process through the journey of your life. And so now I have this amazing gift to like have forever and share with everybody else, to let everyone know again that igniting it in yourself, that you're not alone. It's horrible and it's hard. But there was a purpose and there was a mission to your life. And that's what this is about. And so that's what I wanted it to be, is that no matter what, when you feel alone, is that like, I say like, I will hurt with you. I will hurt with you, and I will be there with you. No matter where you are and what you're doing, you matter, and I will be there with you.
Oh man, why? And I just, of course, I love it. And I've already said behind the scenes, I need multiple copies. Why should every owner, like salon owner, because you're in tech, you provide this incredible solution for the industry, but why would a salon owner, why should every stylist have a copy of this book?
I think the most incredible part is when you read this book, you will feel so connected to it, because my story is your story too. And you'll hear, from a stylist to going out on her own for the first time, to building all these things and the hardships and the things of how to navigate it. And so it's a true actual connection to the industry. It's like a love story to the industry in a way. That look what we did, and then through that, the discovery and thinking big and opening my mind to innovation and the next things. My hopes is that through the story and the connection, you get to the chapters that start to ignite that in yourself and see what you can do.
Mm.
And that's really why I believe that this is a must read. This is definitely something that is designed specifically for you as someone in the salon industry.
I love that. And we hear like people are afraid. They think about, if I were going to go down all these paths, if I were going to take the big leap and try to do all the things I'm dreaming of, this could go wrong, this could go wrong, this could go wrong. And you're kind of here to say, and so will I, yeah, that is going to go wrong. There's a lot of shit that's going to go wrong, period. But what goes right? So I want you to share with us, what's the best thing that's ever happened to you since you started SalonScale?
Oh my goodness. Um, I think the best thing is being able to share it with others, like being able to see the impact. I think, from different posts to different people saying like, this has completely changed my life. Thank you. It's a game changer. Seeing like the true impact and people being able to finally have less anxious lives as salon owners, like because they now know a lot of parts of their business that was unknown. And my team, like the entire team around me that are passionate individuals that are bringing, all of their skills and expert knowledge to the table, and that they care, like the kindness that is surrounding me of people that just want to make a difference. That sums up, a lot of what the best part about this is, and that's my job. Like that's what I get to do all the time. Like that's absolutely the biggest gift in my life is being able to do this.
So tell me, what do the next 2 to 3 years look like for you in SalonScale, Alicia?
Well, definitely a vacation. Just
Yeah.
probably. I think really the next couple years is just I have an eye on the mission. And we really just want to see, salons become profitable. We want to see our technology still make impact. And in the word innovation, like we will still, I always say that like SalonScale is not a renovative software. Like we're not going to just renovate things that already exist. We're going to innovate new tools for the modern day salon. So for me, right now it's so exciting because we're going to just keep impacting with what a salon looks like today, and continue to strive towards that. So my goal is very focused on that, and then also honing in on my life and making sure that I stay present to my family and my friends, and just enjoying what life has to bring over the next couple of years.
Gosh. And as we speak, we're kind of on a vacation together because we'll be in Phoenix, Arizona, golfing together. That's
Yes.
gonna be so awesome. Um, for everybody listening, I want you to know that we have the link in our show notes for you to get your hands on Alicia's book, The Scale. Don't wait, get it now. Support Alicia, but really support your team. You should get a copy for this could be your New Year giveaway to your entire team of stylists to really spur that inspiration, and just this could be your little holiday gift for everybody as well. So before we're done with our conversation, today, Alicia, which I could literally talk to you all afternoon, but tell me, what are some just words of encouragement specifically for the salon owners listening today that you would want them to know or believe in themselves about?
I think it comes down to maybe you just need air. And I think, I have a bunch, every chapter, there's 13 chapters and there's poems for every chapter to start. And there is a poem around this. So maybe you just need air. And what that means is it's not getting another task done. It's not hustling through. It's not trying to do that. Sometimes you just need to stop and just get the air inside to fuel yourself up. And sometimes stopping and just settling down for a second is the best gift you can give yourself. So you can come back to your purpose, not live in doubt and fear, but come back to who you really are and what you want to give to the world.
Man, you know how people say, what would you go and tell like your 12-year-old self?
Yeah.
I feel like I want to be like, what would you like imagine yourself 10 years from now? What would you tell yourself right now? Like if you could think about who you're going to be 10 to 15 years from now and the message that you today need to hear from your future self, what would that message be?
I feel like this is like a RuPaul drag race kind of reflection. Hold my picture of me. Um, Actually, the cover of my book was designed in this. So like I'm sitting in my former life as a hairstylist in the chair, looking back as me as a CEO in a seat, like, and you can see my face reflection back. And what I would tell myself and looking back, even just if I go back to 12, is you're not too much. you can fill up a whole room, and you can continue to do that, and do not shrink yourself for others. And you will see that because of who you are is what makes others shine and what brings the light into other people. And, when we did it, like, be very proud of yourself. You're an incredibly, talented individual, a phenomenal mother, and someone that truly just wants light and love for everyone, and to not ever forget that.
It's like the message is the same regardless if it's to your younger self or the future self to you now, which I think is really powerful and I love it. So thank you so much for sharing
Thank you.
insights to who you are and just your passion and purpose for your life and just how you're giving to us in this industry. I appreciate you very much, my friend.
I appreciate you too. Thanks, Katie.
Well, thank you all for joining us here week after week. If you really appreciate Beyond the Technique, this platform is powered by Maya, the only CJM available to the beauty and wellness industry. What's a CJM? That's a customer journey management system. This is where we track the consumer buying process before, during, and after every visit. And this is really unique to your specific brand. If you want all the data, leads, new clients, higher average tickets, better retention, and ultimately bigger revenue, then you need to get Maya. Go to joinmaya.com. And by the way, everybody, please go get this book, The Scale by Alicia Soulier. It's amazing. You deserve it. Your team deserves it. Until next time, everybody, have an awesome day and stay strong.